What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mind Something. If you're new here, my name is Jake, and in today's video, the SEC is now claiming that Binance USD is an unregistered security. Definitely want to talk about that. Also, Mississippi just passed a bill to protect crypto miners from discrimination. We'll take a look at that article, as well as Coinbase stating that it will defend staking in the US. And lastly, Dynex. We've got solution fees now. We got block rewards, and we got block fees. We're going to talk about the difference between those. But before we get into it, I'm curious, how was your weekend? Did you guys watch the Super Bowl? Were you excited? Were you upset? Did your team win? Did they lose? Let me know down in the comments below. And the time of recording right now is almost 1 a.m. on December 13th, 2023. And I've been out of town for the weekend. I have a birthday coming up, and I managed to sneak away, hang out with some friends. We had a huge LAN party. It was a blast. So I had a great weekend. I hope you guys did too. Let's go ahead and take a look at the market. So Bitcoin is coming in at 21,845, Ethereum 1,520, XRP at 37 cents, Cardano at 36 cents, Dogecoin at almost 8.5 cents, Polygon at $1.21, Solana at $21. Litecoin $93.06, and then we've got Ethereum Classic at $21.11 and Monero at $160. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cadena real quick. So Cadena is down a little over 3%. I want to talk more about difficulty and profitability on the KA3. A few people have talked about this recently, specifically Red Panda Mining put out a video speculating that doesn't look like Bitmain was mining on the KA3s, but we'll take a look at difficulty and we'll talk about that a little further. Let's go ahead and jump into emissions for the day. So Caspa 147,000, Ergo 67,000, Monero 67,000, Flux coming in at 35,000, and Dynex coming in at 21,000. As well as Cortex actually in the top 25 now at almost 12,000 in emissions. Let's go ahead and talk about profitability on a single 3070 at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Nexa is on top still at 10 cents per day, followed by Dynex at 8 cents. Then we've got Ergo plus Caspa at 5 cents a day in profitability. This one's kind of confusing to me, and I'll explain that in just a moment. So we've got Alephium at break even, Ergo at -2 cents, ETH Classic and Alephium at -3 cents, ETH POW and Alephium -3 cents, Caspa -4 cents. So here's why I'm confused. Ergo by itself -2 cents, Caspa by itself -4 cents. How the hell is dual mining Ergo and Caspa profitable at 5 cents? I think something's a little funky here, but let's continue. Cortex -5 cents, Conflux -5 cents, Radiant -6 cents, Beam -7 cents, Ravencoin -9 cents, ETH POW -10 cents, ETH Classic -11 cents, Flux -13 cents, Meowcoin -14 cents, Proof of Means -18 cents. And let's go ahead and take a look at ASIC miner profitability. So the KA3 is still on top, but not by much at all. Look at this, $27.67. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 days ago, profitability was actually $43 a day roughly. And we've got the K7 catching up to it at $26.22. And we've got the L7 at $20.27. And then we've got the first gold shell SC6 at $3.33. Jasminer X4 at $3.02. And let's see if we can find the gold shell KD Max on here. The KD box, roughly 3 cents. Where is the gold shell KD Max? Alright, let's search in the page, see if we can find it. There it is. -75 cents a day on the KD Max. Boy, that is rough. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about difficulty changes since the Flux halving. So it's been a couple days since we last looked at this, and Flux difficulty is down to 5.13, or excuse me, this is hash rate, not difficulty. But we're down to 5.13 megasouls. Let's take a look at Dynex. So Dynex has actually dipped a little bit in the last 12 hours or so. We did peak out at about 8.4849, somewhere around there, 8.5. But we're pulling back a little bit right now. Let's take a look at Nexa. Nexa is trending up. I think we're going to go flat here for a little while until perhaps another miner is released with better efficiency. But then again, it is at the top of profitability, so perhaps it is going to continue to rise. Next, we've got Caspa also creeping back up there, currently up to 358 terahash. And then we've got Radiant, bottomed out on the 9th, and today is the 13th, so yeah, it's creeping back up there a little bit. And then lastly, wanted to take a look at Alephium. It's getting a little bit of notoriety, but I noticed some weird things in this difficulty chart here. Notice, for one, from December 8th through December 10th, how this curve is like a perfect line. That's something you don't typically see in hash rate. And then also we've got a straight line from December 30th all the way through January 20th. And then another one of these kind of straight diagonal lines down here, which is kind of odd. Not sure how to explain that, but anyways, moving on to the next subject. I did notice a video from PC Builder. He was talking about GPU prices getting cheaper. These are specifically used GPU prices. I don't know where he's pulling his data from, but according to what he's saying here, from January 12th to February 9th, it looks like prices have come down on 3070 and 3070 Ti, as well as the 3080, the 3080 Ti, and a 3090. So I'd be interested to see where he's getting this pricing data. I will leave a comment in his video to ask him, but if I can get an answer on that, is it strictly eBay sale prices, or, how are they calculating this? But interesting to see that perhaps we have not bottomed. Maybe GPU prices are going to continue to go down. Now, it wasn't but maybe about a week ago I covered pricing info, and it looked like most of the GPU prices had bottomed sometime around the end of September, some in October, some in November. But according to the data that he's showing here, we're still going down, but I'll keep you guys updated. Next, we have an article from Cointelegraph talking about Paxos facing SEC lawsuit over Binance USD. So the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has reportedly told stablecoin issuer Paxos Trust Company it's planning to sue the firm for violation of investor protection laws in relation to Binance USD. According to a February 12th report in the Wall Street Journal citing people familiar with the matter, the SEC issued a Wells notice to Paxos, which is a letter the regulator uses to tell companies of planned enforcement action. The notice alleges that Binance USD is an unregistered security, according to the people. According to Investopedia, after a Wells notice is received, the accused is allowed 30 days to respond to it via a legal brief known as a Wells submission, which includes arguments to prove why the charges should not be brought against prospective defendants. An SEC spokesperson told Cointelegraph that it does not comment on existing or non-existence of a possible investigation. A spokesperson for Binance said BUSD is a Paxos-issued and owned product, with Binance licensing its brand to the firm for use with BUSD. It added Paxos is regulated by the New York Department of Financial Services, and that BUSD is a one-to-one backed stablecoin. Stablecoins are critical safety net for investors seeking refuge from volatile markets, and limiting their access would directly harm millions of people across the globe, the spokesperson added. We will continue to monitor the situation our global users have a wide array of stablecoins available to them. Cointelegraph contacted Paxos for comment but did not receive an immediate response. Paxos is the owner and issuer of BUSD, a US dollar collateralized stablecoin which has been around since the firm struck a partnership with crypto exchange Binance in September of 2019. It is the third largest stablecoin with market cap currently exceeding $16 billion. Paxos is also the creator of the Paxos Dollar USDP stablecoin, which was launched in 2018, and is also behind digital asset exchange ItBit, which it launched in 2012 alongside the founding of Paxos. Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett tweeted on February 12 that the move was unilateral effort between the SEC and other regulators to blitz crypto, and claim more Wells notices are expected to be sent over to the coming weeks. So this is extremely concerning. Not that we didn't see this coming, but when it comes to a stablecoin being a security, in a way, I think that it can be packaged as a security depending on how it's sold, but it looks like the SEC is basically going to come after anything that threatens the US dollar, and maybe not necessarily the US dollar, but what I'm getting at or insinuating here is that they want to see stablecoins backed by US bonds. And if you're not backing your USD coin with a bond, then essentially you are stealing market share away from the US dollar. And I feel like anything that's threatening the US's dollar position is probably going to be subject to this type of litigation. So just fair warning. It's hard to say how they're going to treat, Circle? I think Circle's in bed with a lot of these regulators and has some favoritism. They're definitely going to try and attack Tether. Tether's been pretty stable for quite some time, but, we're just going to have to wait and see how all this plays out, unfortunately. Next, I got some good news. So, Mississippi Senate passes bill to protect cryptocurrency miners from discrimination. The bill would legalize home digital asset mining and the operation of mining businesses in areas zoned for industrial use, and prohibit the Public Service Commission from imposing discriminatory electric rates on mining businesses. The American state of Mississippi is one step closer to protecting the rights of cryptocurrency miners after the state Senate passed the Mississippi Digital Asset Mining Act on February 8th. There is a companion bill under consideration in the State House of Representatives. The Senate bill, authorized by State Senator Josh Harkins, legalizes home digital asset mining and the operation of mining businesses in areas zoned for industrial use. There are already crypto miners operating in Mississippi, which has some of the lowest electricity rates in the country. However, the bill claimed digital asset mining has often faced regulatory challenges at the state and local level. In addition, the bill prohibits limiting noise from home mining beyond existing limits, imposing requirements on miners beyond those locally applied to data centers, or changing the zoning of a mining center without proper notification and an opportunity to appeal. It also prohibits the Public Service Commission, which regulates utilities, from imposing discriminatory rates on mining businesses, and exempts home and business miners from money transmitter status. The bill further provides the state with a legal definition of virtual currency. Mississippi is one of the states where the Satoshi Action Fund has been active. Now, we've talked about these guys before, and I'm going to continue to research these guys. They're definitely on our side, and I'm very much for that. So, with CEO Dennis Porter speaking at a meeting of the Mississippi Senate Finance Committee in January, where he mentioned the potential for crypto miners to use orphaned oil and gas wells as power sources. Both the Senate and House bills mention orphan wells. The House bill would set up a state digital asset mining council that will consider the use of the wells as a mining power source and other issues throughout the year. The House bill has passed the Ways and Means Committee but has not been debated on the House floor. Mississippi's legislation contrasts with the 2-year moratorium on crypto mining passed in New York and signed into law in November. So this is great news, guys. I think, well, I don't know how to think about the, oh, how do they word this here? Something about the zoning. I'm not sure how I feel about home miners being subject to zoning requirements. I think that there's definitely going to be noise issues for those large-scale home miners, but when you get to that level, perhaps you're not necessarily going to be doing that at home, but perhaps there are those of you out there that are causing some noise pollution for your neighbors, so something to be conscious of. I know Hobbyist Miner had a complaint recently from one of his neighbors that he was running a home-based business and they tried to get him in trouble, so just something to be conscious of. And to continue on with some more articles from Cointelegraph, we've got another one here that says, Coinbase will happily defend staking in the U.S., court says. So crypto exchange Coinbase executives are standing up for its crypto staking services, claiming it cannot be classified as a security and threatening to bring the matter to the courts in the United States. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong posted on Twitter that the company will defend this in court if needed. The move follows the agreement reached by crypto exchange Kraken with the Securities and Exchange Commission on February 10th to stop offering staking services or programs to clients in the country. According to the SEC, Kraken failed to register the offer and sale of their crypto asset staking as a service program, which the commission now qualified as securities. Aside from the service halt, Kraken agreed to pay $30 million in prejudgment interest and civil penalties. Coinbase's chief legal officer Paul Grewal weighed in on the issue in a blog post claiming that staking is not a security under the U.S. Securities Act, nor under the Howey test. Trying to superimpose securities laws onto a process like staking doesn't help consumers at all and instead imposes unnecessary, aggressive mandates that will prevent U.S. consumers from accessing basic crypto services and push users to offshore, unregulated platforms. Grewal argues that staking fails to meet the 4 elements of the Howey test: investment of money, common enterprise, reasonable expectation of profit, and the efforts of others. The Howey test comes from a 1946 Supreme Court case, and there is a separate discussion to be had about whether the test makes sense for modern assets like crypto, he noted. And I'll pause here and just put my 2 cents in here. So, me personally, I feel like if you are staking on someone else's platform and you're not staking your own crypto, then to me that is a security. Just simply because you are relying on the efforts of others and you have the expectation of profit. I think this should be something that's done on your own, follow the ethos of crypto. Now, is it obtainable to collect 32 ETH and stake on your own? It's not very realistic for an average person. But again, going back to the Howey test, if you are relying on the efforts of others with an expectation of profit, it's a common enterprise and you're investing money. To me, those do meet the 4 tests or 4 prongs of the Howey test. But to continue, blockchain technology can spur significant economic growth in the U.S., and staking is a safe and critical aspect of that technology. But regulation by enforcement that does nothing to help consumers and drives innovation offshore is not the answer. Getting it right on staking matters. The SEC decision on crypto staking sparked criticism. In a statement titled "Cracking Down," Commissioner Hester Pierce publicly rebuked her own agency over the shutdown of cracking staking service. Pierce argued that regulation by enforcement is not an efficient or fair way of regulating an emerging industry. And I definitely agree with that. But, again, if you caught the previous video where I was, putting my 2 cents on Hester Pierce, I want to see some action. She's in the know. She has direct knowledge and possibly proof of all the corruption that is there. And words don't mean much these days, unfortunately. So I want to see some action from her. Anyways, moving on. Last couple of things I wanted to talk about was Dynex and their 3 different type of fees or rewards. So Rapid Mining had a video earlier today, and he had mentioned that someone got a $100,000, I believe it's referred to as a solution fee. And I think there's some confusion on how that fee is distributed. And I'd like to get more clarification. I'm going to read a couple of things here, but for me, it's still clear as mud, unfortunately. So the 3 different things, you've got a block reward, and obviously you guys know how that's distributed. And then you've got a block fee, which is defined and paid by the customer, different from job to job. And what he means by this is customers that are purchasing compute power directly from Dynex using the native token. And then you have a solution fee, gets the miner who solves the problem first, which is different from the block reward. The block reward is currently like, I think, 260 DNX, but the solution fee currently, I believe, is 100,000, which according to Rapid Mining's video is like $12,000. That is significant. Now, how do you get that? That's the big question here. And it's not clear. And I'm going to ask for answers directly from some of the devs to see if I can get an answer for you guys. The confusion comes from, is it only possible to get the solution fee from CPU mining? And if it is specifically from CPU mining, then how do you do that? Because basically everybody is disabling their CPU because the profits are coming from GPU mining. It doesn't make sense to mine it with the CPU. However, if you can get this solution fee from the CPU, then perhaps it is worth trying to play the lottery here. But yeah, I've read all through the Discord. I can't find anything specific, but there was a couple of other things that I did want to cover real quickly. So first, customers can buy computing power on the network to run their computations on it. For this, they have to offer an amount of DNX per block computation fee, as well as a solution fee, which the miner who finds the optimal solution to the computational problems receives. Miners receive the block rewards until all blocks are mined, transaction fees plus the computation fee plus the solution fee. This ensures that it will be attractive to mine DNX in the long term. So customers who pay the most for computations per block are ranked higher, which means their jobs are being filled and used first. But to go back to the white paper and the emission schedule for just a moment, the emission schedule is basically showing a curve, and this is supposed to take place over the course of about 4 years. So there's already about 35% of the DNX coin in circulation, and it won't be long before we're up to about 90% or so. That will happen within 750 days. And that start date was, I think, September 22nd of 2022. So I really hope that they've got their structure and their tokenomics set up properly. So one thing that could potentially be an issue is, let's say the price of Dynex does not increase much from where it's at right now. How are they going to set the pricing on their services for computation? And then what happens if the price skyrockets, and how will that affect their pricing model? I feel like Flux probably got this part right, in the sense that their pricing is priced in USD, but that of course translates to how much Flux you have to purchase in order to pay for that service. But anyways, moving on. Like I said, I'm going to ask those questions, and hopefully we'll have some answers for that soon. And the last thing that I wanted to cover was in regards to Coastal Crypto. We had mentioned that they're going to give away an NFT. This is going to happen whenever the channel hits 3,000 subscribers. So if you guys are interested in the giveaway, what you need to do is head on over to their YouTube page, and let's go ahead and pick this particular video, this Help Us Help You. So what you need to do is just simply leave a comment indicating that you are there for the NFT, and something positive, whatever you can think of. If it's something specifically about crypto mining, if it's something that's positive about you, if it's something positive about Coastal Crypto. But just going back to this video, the reason that I chose this particular video, one, it only had one comment on it, but two, I just wanted to point out that these guys are here to help the hobbyist miners. Now, they sell many different ASICs and mining equipment. Let's pull up their webpage real quick. They've got a shop up here that you guys can check out all of the different services that they offer. But in that particular video, they were saying that they want to offer their expertise to anybody that has questions. It doesn't matter if you bought an ASIC from them or if you've ever bought anything from them at all. They're there to help. So I appreciate them throwing in the NFT for the giveaway. If you would, go over to that particular video and leave your comment on it, and we will use the comment picker to pick the winner of the NFT. And just, one thing that I want to point out again here is that Coastal Crypto is more than just a host provider and equipment reseller. They are also fellow crypto enthusiasts, and they're there to help, whether it be for basic questions or helping set up a full-scale mine operation. Coastal Crypto has your back. Never hesitate to reach out to them. You can find them at coastalcryptomining.com. Anyways, that's it for this particular video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content. Do me a favor before you go, hit that like and hit the subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.